we are recording. Oh, there go the napkins. I need to grab a donut before we get in on this. Mm-hmm. I know I've had one already today, but I'm starving.
Long Johns are good.
Long John donuts are some of the best.
I like them a lot. I don't see the point of a donut having a hole.
Well, here's the question: do you prefer jelly-filled Long Johns or just regular Long Johns, though?
I only like jelly-filled stuff, which is weird because it was my favorite when I was a kid.
Interesting.
My favorite donut is Boston cream.
Oh, yes. I 110% agree with that. That's a great donut. Mm-hmm. There was actually a donut shop I used to... I visited when I was in New York. The way they do their jelly donuts, like all of their donuts are squared with a hole in the middle. Mm. They put their jelly and their cream and everything like that in every section of the donut. Whoa.
Okay.
So every time you bite in, you're gonna get a jelly of some kind, and they did their own.
You mean it's a donut, like your basic round donut, but it's got jelly inside the ring?
Yes, but it was shaped as a square just to help insert the jelly more, and they do their own in-house like jellies and creams.
Oh my gosh!
Like you'll have like a blackberry cream, like a blackberry jelly in there, a pistachio cream.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I wish we had a donut spot like that around here, but you know what? I will absolutely take your classic donuts such as Long Johns, crullers, cinnamon rolls, twists, all that good stuff, but...
Apple fritters?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Unfortunately, the bakery didn't have any apple fritters today.
I'll stop naming baked goods, because I can tell you're trying to start the episode.
With a donut in my mouth.
Your basic Krispy Kreme?
Oh, it's so good. All right.
Cheese Danish?
Choking on a donut.
No, this is Hannah Kubiak. Donald has died. I am doing the podcast on my own now.
Sorry about that, guys. All right. So, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the General Geekery Podcast.
Woo!
The podcast where we geek out about all that we love to geek out about with no remorse, no regrets, and with all of the enthusiasm in the world. So much enthusiasm, in fact, I'm
podcast!
I'm currently choking on a donut still.
Podcast!
Yeah, I'm not editing that out. That's staying in. Oh, everything's falling apart today!
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You're falling apart, man.
I'm fine. As always...
Falling apart, I'm losing my mind!
As always, this is Donald Kaczynski, your resident coffee ninja by day.
Dogs and cats living together!
This is Donald Kaczynski, your resident coffee ninja by day, actor, gamer, streamer by night, and with me, as always, the artiste extraordinaire, dice slinger, master, and, I'm gonna say Lord of Jestering today.
Hello.
Miss Hannah Kubiak.
What up, what up?
And honestly, like, everything crazy and zany that just happened there kind of relates to our topic that I want to talk about today. So that actually kind of could not have worked out more perfect.
Exactly as I intended.
So, for all my 90s kids out there...
That's me!
Yeah. All of us. Excuse me if I butcher this, but I do have to sing the song in order to get it. It's time for Animaniacs, and we're zany to the max. So just sit back and relax. You'll laugh till you collapse. We're Animaniacs. I know the tempo was wrong. I don't care. I'm still choking on a donut. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about possibly one of the greatest cartoons ever made by Americans, Animaniacs. One of the greatest cartoon shows I've ever watched.
So I don't have too much experience with this, but I get the gist of it. So.
Oh yeah, the Animaniacs is huge.
Yep.
Absolutely huge. So, Animaniacs was created and originally directed by Steven Spielberg.
I did notice that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that got me as I learned more about the show growing up, as opposed to cartoons and all that good stuff. It was directed by Steven Spielberg. It ran from 1990
3.
I wanted to say 1992. I was like, no, wait, that's Batman the Animated Series. What am I talking about? And it ran up until 1998, 1999, and it started on Fox Kids to help that block grow as the Fox network was going on. And then when Warner Brothers started their own television channel, they went on to the Kids WB block. And it is noted as being some of the greatest comedy ever written in television.
It's pretty good.
Not just animation. Television. That is... Yeah.
It's snappy, see?
And... It's crazy, like, how popular, like, they have, like, become. Like, honestly, Animaniacs, I believe, was a show that kind of came to define... what would become like meme culture.
Meme culture? Yeah. Okay.
Like just with meme-esque like reactions, pop culture references, like political in the moment stuff. Like in the original version of the Animaniacs song, there's a verse that goes while Bill Clinton plays the sax, and it's an animated Bill Clinton playing on a saxophone.
Oh yeah, Bill Clinton.
Oh my God,
There was something where it was like the psychiatrist, Dr. Scratch and Sniff.
Dr.
Like it was
Otto,
the very first episode.
Dr. Otto Scratch and Sniff.
I was basically one with the terrible German accents going on.
Oh, was it the Ronald Reagan joke?
Yeah, the one where it's like, and he was like, I would be the psychiatrist for all of the Hollywood stars, and Ronald Reagan comes in, and he's like, well, yes, I had a dream that I was the president of the United States, and he writes like delusions of grandeur, uncurable.
Oh, you gotta love it.
Oh man. Oh.
But of course, our main stars of Animaniacs is of course the 3 titular characters of the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister Dot.
Mm-hmm. And the Warner sister, Dot.
You understand, like, why it's Dot, right?
No.
Warner Bros. Dot.
Oh, okay. Dot.
The Dot after Bros.
I just assumed that the Warner Brothers had a sister.
I mean, you have to. But, my God, they... So great, so endearing, and all of them voiced by some pretty dang great voice acting legends in the business. Like you got the older brother, Yakko, voiced by Rob Paulsen. You have Wacko, voiced by Jess Harnell, and then you have Dot, voiced by Tress MacNeille, who she was actually in a throwback to our talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Hannah, do you remember the episode where Katara learned... no, not Katara. Damn it! Donald! Stupid! Idiot!
What are you talking about? Where who?
Do you remember the episode where Katara learned bloodbending?
Yeah, of course.
The girl, the woman who played Dot in Animaniacs played the woman who taught her bloodbending.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I was thinking of completely something else. I thought I called Katara Korra again.
Oh gosh, no.
And I was gonna kill, and I was gonna hurt, and I was gonna just say no, Donald, no. But then I was like, oh wait, I said it right.
I was very confused. I was like, what are you?
Sorry,
you okay there, man?
that was my mind going too fast for my own good. Mm-hmm. So sorry about that.
Well, I have entire conversations in my brain and then forget that I didn't actually have them. So I'll be like, hey. Did I tell you that I'm going to be going to Arkansas next week? Like, no.
No.
I'm like, oh. Well, I am. I totally thought I had this conversation with you, but... Well, anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's the introvert's bane.
Yeah. And then you have so many other great ones. Actually, Rob Paulsen actually voiced several characters on the show. He was actually Dr. Otto Scratch and Sniff as well. And he was Pinky in the Pinky and the Brain segments.
Okay, Pinky and the Brain.
Off! And that's like the great thing with Animaniacs. It was basically like a variety show, kind of similar to how like old classic Looney Tunes cartoons and how Tiny Toons was as well.
Yeah.
It was basically a bunch of different sketches featuring a variety of cast of characters. Of course, you always had the Warners doing, like, the opening and the closers. And then you had other ones as well. You had Pinky and the Brain, who became so popular, they actually got their own spin-off show.
Oh, my gosh.
And even that cartoon is actually considered, like, one of the greatest cartoons ever made, which is insane to think about.
I really enjoyed that one.
I loved it, too. Like, oh, my God. Me and my family quote it all the time. All the time.
My roommate and I do that a lot. It's like, wow, what are we going to do now? What we always do. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky, and the brain, brain. So good. And then you had other recurring segments like Slappy the Squirrel, which in the universe Animaniacs, she is an animated cartoon star, a retired animated cartoon star, that's basically living in, like, her twilight years, something like that.
Oh, wait, so in universe, she is a cartoon character?
She's a cartoon legend.
Okay.
She is a legend of the cartoon industry in that universe.
That's so meta.
Then you've got the Good Feather Flock, which is basically a trope on, of course, Goodfellas, with Ray Liotta, and Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, with their and they throw them into, like, a bunch of different, like, segments after that. Like, it shouldn't have really gone on besides just being a parody of Goodfellas, but they made it work.
Yeah.
And then you've got Buttons and Mindy, which was basically a dog trying to keep a young, mischievous, like, curious toddler girl out of trouble and getting absolutely destroyed every time. It's almost like
kind of a reverse Tom and Jerry.
Almost kind of a reverse Tom and Jerry. Yeah, that's just what I was going to say.
Where you're trying to keep someone safe and you end up getting...
and then you've got Rita and I forget the dog's name, but they were just basically like Genius and Doofus, down on their luck duo, with Rita having an amazing singing voice, I must say. So, yeah, like a bunch of different variety and everything like that. And with it came some of the greatest writing of all times, because they wrote the show for both kids and adults.
Actually, when I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, I wouldn't mind watching this with my kids. Like, I wouldn't be totally bored, or sick of seeing the same thing.
Oh, the stuff that appears on screen is great for the kids and the adults, but the some of the writing that goes on in the series is just so good that only adults can get.
Yeah, I love that. I love going back to things you watched as a kid and being like, oh my gosh,
like
that's what that meant.
One of my favorite ones. All right, guys, we have to look. We have to search for fingerprints. And then Dot's like, "Hey, I found prints!" And it's literally just an animated version of the singer Prince. and then Yako goes, "No, fingerprints." And then Dot looks at Prince and she's like, "I don't think so." I didn't get it as a kid, but looking at it as an adult, I'm like, they got away with that? And then who can forget the epic fourth wall break? Now give me the bird. I mean, sure, we'd love to, but unfortunately the Fox censors won't allow it. There you go.
Oh, I love it.
Just on the timing like that is just so...
It's very quick, yeah. I enjoyed that.
And then one of my favorite triple headers was when the Warner Brothers and Dot were being taught at like some kind of class by this lady teacher on like etiquette or something like that, and she's like, "Yakko, I want you to conjugate." Conjugate? But I've never even kissed a girl. No, it's easy. I want you to conjugate with me. Good night, everybody. No, here, I'll show you. Don't look. Turn off the television. Just like that, at that breakneck speed.
Turn off the television.
I think I may have thrown turn off the television in there. I think he maybe just said, don't look, but even still.
It's like, there's this one from Pink Panther that I never got. The one with Steve Martin.
Yep.
Where they're like having their conversation. They're like in America in their hotel room. falling asleep. Him and his partner or whatever. And they have this whole conversation about women and stuff. He's like, I never see you with women. And he's like talking about all this all this stuff about, well, yes, I am married, but I don't wear a ring to protect her. And then there's like a pause, and the partner says, it's hard. And there's like a pause, and Clouseau like looks over. He's like, what is? He's like, finding someone for you. He's like, ugh.
God dang it! God dang it!
It's hard. What is?
Just that long pause.
Yeah, a long pause.
Long pauses. They are golden bits of comedy.
It's hilarious.
And yeah, like this show has left such an impact, not only on like the fans that have watched it growing up, but basically like writing and animation in general. Mm-hmm. Like there are always like tidbits in animation in the past where they sneak like adult things in. I mean, there's legendary stuff with Disney sneaking in like one little frame of nudity in some of their animated pictures. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, during a scene in The Rescuers, like if you pause at like a specific point, you can see a nude woman in a window.
Okay.
Apparently.
Somebody was bored that day.
Well, and then you got the frame showing of Roger Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Apparently, Jessica Rabbit going commando, which I'm like, really? Why would they animate that in?
That is the telltale sign of a horny animator.
I mean, humans, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, but yeah, and of course, Animaniacs with the Warner Brothers horn is like, "Hello, nurse," which they. Yeah, that would not fly in today's environment. My God. But yeah, there's so much fun, and like, obviously they've left an impact on me and others from our generation that grew up with it. Animaniacs and other shows like it, but I think Animaniacs is like one of the main centerpieces of it. Have basically evolved like our generation's sense of comedy, sense of just spontaneous, like, just humor.
Yeah.
Like quips, meme culture, pop culture references, like in relation to that. Like, Animaniacs started so much.
Yeah.
Born out of the mind, originally directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
And brought to life by some of these amazing voice actors that honestly still did, like, the voices and stuff for all of them, like, even after the show went off the air. Mm-hmm. One of the segments that was actually one of the most popular was Yakko Warner's doing a song about all of the countries in the world.
Oh, I think I remember that one.
That's, like, one of the most famous, like, musical segments from that. And actually, they kept updating the song as the years went by, as more countries were added or absorbed or changed or anything like that. And they actually took that on tour with the original voice actor, Rob Paulsen.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm like, that's dedication!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine as a kid, like, memorizing that song to know all the countries. I can imagine that. Or, like, playing it in your geography class or something. I used to take geography.
It apparently helped kids.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you want to talk about good educational? Animaniacs had that with that moment. Mm-hmm. You say that cartoons are rotting your children's brains?
No.
Go watch the Yakko Warner's World song.
Yep. Oh, that was wonderful. I enjoy the variety of different things that they have in there. Like longer bits, shorter bits, just a song.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Monty Python a little bit, just like the absurdness, you know, and like gave me hope for American comedy, because a lot of the time American comedy you're just kind of like, I see what they did there. They're just talking about sex again.
Well, I mean, in American comedy,
like, that's okay sometimes, but if it's all that you rely on, then, you know.
Well, the 90s I see as kind of like a turning point for like like comedy writing in like not only just animation but in shows and everything like that, because you always had like the family. That was when like the family sitcoms became more popular and they became more crazy and out of tune. Like you had stuff like Family Matters, Home Improvement, that 70s show, and Friends would eventually come along as well. Like all of this, and Animaniacs like honestly belongs in that as like some of the best comedic writing like ever written. And honestly, I think it's my opinion. I think it's probably like one of the most rewatchable animated shows ever, right up there with Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah,
like I would certainly say so. like maybe some of the jokes will go over like the younger generation because like of course some of it was a product of the times, and the only way you can get those jokes is because of in the times. But there's so much in that show that is so timeless. Yeah, and some of the best skits ever, like, what was it? There was a skit with the Warners that, where, Michelangelo was, painting the Sistine Chapel.
Oh, gosh.
And, it was so you mean to tell me you want us three young, impressionable children to paint naked people all over the ceiling? We'll do it!
We'll do it.
Hey, we'd even do it for free. You didn't even have to pay us. I just love doing the voices of Yakko and Wacko. I'm still trying to figure out why they decided to go with a Yorkshire accent for Wacko, but
I don't know.
Oi, what's wrong with your mouth? Oh, one of my favorite things from Wacko was when he was trying. They're simply watching a movie, and he has to go to the bathroom, but the bathroom in the theater is out of order, and then you just build from there into this giant adventure escapade of him just needing to go potty. It's honestly kind of a spectacle to look at, where they could just take something simple as that and just blow it up.
Yep. A lot of sitcoms are like that, where you take something normal that would happen, where you think, oh, well, that would just be kind of annoying and boring. But then if you build on it and build on it and build on it, it becomes just this ridiculous scenario. Where somebody ends up, like hanging off the edge of a roof, like wearing a bath towel, and that's it, or something. Like, how the hell did that happen? Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
It's absurdist humor at some of its best.
Yep. Absurdist humor.
And
like baloney in your slacks.
Yes.
I mean, who doesn't have baloney in their slacks at one given time or another? But you know.
I was checking my slacks.
Yep.
But they also have pay or play contracts though, which and they're just kind of smart when their writers have flipped and they have no script. So why bother to rehearse? Yeah. I'm just mouthing out the lyrics right now. But yeah, they left such a big impact on not just basically culture in general. Like they basically defined like a generation with their humor and everything like that. And in this day and age where so many like classic properties are getting rebooted.
Yeah.
And Animaniacs was trying to get back on like some kind of network or streaming service one way or another. When Hulu acquired the original series for their streaming service back in, I want to say, what was it, 2016, 2017?
I don't know the ins and outs of Hulu.
Right.
Yeah,
They commissioned a reboot for the Animaniacs.
Oh.
Which dropped 2 to 3 weeks ago from the time we're recording this episode on this Tuesday.
Oh, wait, yeah, when I went onto Hulu to watch them, it did have one from 2020.
Yep, that was the reboot.
And I was thinking, I don't think this is the one Doll's talking about, so I'm going to start with the 1993 one.
Which is fair, because you need to watch the original one to like understand like why the 2020 one is like a big deal for a lot of people and how much we were anticipated for this reboot.
Yeah. Like,
we were so ready, like, because this was announced, like, years in advance.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And they got pretty much all of the majority of, like, the original voice cast back. they don't have all of the animation, like all of the original animated skits back. Like they didn't have Slappy, Buttons and Mindy, Good Feathers, or anything like that. They managed to bring back Pinky and the Brain, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to start a reboot off to, like, ease in, like, these original characters to a newer generation, why not go with, like, the two most popular properties and then sprinkle in some of the other beloved characters, like, just gradually. So, like, we only heard, like, sparse rumors or anything like that about some production stuff going through the years leading up to it. And then this past summer, I want to say, was when we got some of our first glimpses at the reboot, and we had a date. November of 2020. In this year that seemingly never is ending, this black hole of joy and happiness.
31 more days, man.
31 more days.
Well, I mean, it's not like everything's going to be cured on the new year, but...
I know, but just the stigma of this year will be gone.
Yeah, I am...
Because we've lost so much this year.
I'm tired of people bitching about 2020.
2020 took away Sean Connery, and I will never forgive it.
When did that happen?
About a few weeks ago, a month ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I've been living under a rock.
I need to get you out from under that rock, Hannah.
Yeah.
I so much missed. But... yeah, we got a few glimpses of, like, the new reboot. And although it's an updated animation style, it still kept, like, the flair of the original with a similar thing. Even Steven Spielberg came back to head produce the show, which we were like, yes! With Spielberg at the wheel, like, we can truly make something out of this, because either a reboot does amazingly and it exceeds expectations, or it falls super flat. So you're either going to get, oh right, DuckTales style reboot, or oh, so this is basically Teen Titans Go.
Yeah. Did you watch it? How was it?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. They started off the first episode with a clip that they already showed, like, previously as, like, a preview to animate it up. Basically, a spoof of the dinosaur reveal scene from Jurassic Park. Like, with an animated Steven Spielberg as John Hammond and, like, all the characters and everything like that. With the music and everything. And it was okay because... in the end, Spielberg owns the rights to Jurassic Park. We're like, yes!
It's like, yep, you can use that. You're like, I'm pretty confident I'm not going to sue myself for intellectual property rights.
Pretty much.
Unless I don't know. I don't know what situation that would be.
True. How zany are they? Oh, to the max. Oh, and of course we brought back Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain? You said you're bringing back Pinky and the Brain? Yeah. Say it again. We're bringing back Pinky and the Brain. Oh, God.
Say it again.
And then of course you had the classic theme song with updated lyrics, which I'm like, okay, that's fair. They still kept the same tone and everything like that. But of course, for this version of Animaniacs, they're definitely playing more towards the older crowd that, like, grew up with the show. So not all of the jokes, like, hit as good as they used to, but there's still a spark of that original flair and just creativity and just overall excitement that surrounded, like, the original, like, Animaniacs shorts. And of course, I'm only like 4 or 5 episodes in.
Yeah.
But especially the Pinky and the Brain segments, oh, mwah! Chef's kiss on that one.
Yeah. I think I definitely enjoy those the best out of
all
the stuff.
They're great. Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering? I think so, Brain, but I don't understand. If I do indeed clone myself, who do I know who to shoot when one of us turns evil? One of the first jokes in their first skit, and I had to pause for like 5 minutes because I was peeing my pants laughing.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? And it's always this ridiculous thing. Like, yes, but I don't know how a hose and a duck would be relevant.
The things that come out of Pinky's mouth, I swear, are just so good.
Oh
so
my
great.
gosh. the it's the classic, like, genius doofus dynamic.
One is a genius, the other's insane. The laboratory mice, the genes have been spliced. The binky, and the brain.
Thank you.
I'm going to be annoying Hannah forever with this. I'm sorry. I'm having too much fun talking about this.
Oh, man.
But I also regret nothing.
Or, like, what is it where, like, oh, gosh. If there's something weird going on and somebody will ask a question and they'll answer it honestly and then they'll say, like, well, it was my fault for asking, you know? Or, like when he puts himself in, like Brain puts himself into, like, a human suit to go on Jeopardy, and
rest in peace, Trebek.
But his head is just still really tiny,
yep.
And this huge torso, and the taxi guy turns around, and he's like, I don't mean to bother you, but why is your head so small? And he's like, it's not. I'm just a mouse inside of an animatronic person. And he was like, oh, well, it's my fault for asking. Never mind.
Absurdist humor. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you so much. But, yeah. Like, there's such a charm to it, and I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, there are some people that are not big on the reboot. Like, some of them think it's a little bit too mean-spirited, like, compared to, like, the original. But to that, I say, you either like it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the thing with, like, comedy and any kind of form of art. It's subjective.
Yep.
You like what you're gonna like, and you're gonna not like what you don't like.
Yeah.
That's just basically how it is. And there are just some people that, like, I saw some reviews saying, like, this was, like, damaging to like, the reputation of Animaniacs, and I'm like, who really does this hurt?
Yeah.
No one. Like, the Animaniacs are grandfathered in as, like, some of, like, how modern humor has been evolved into.
Yeah. I can definitely see the influences there. Definitely.
And while some of the creators, like the new creation team, because they didn't bring the original all the original creation team back. Like, some of them worked on, like, some more modern, like, animated shows, kind of like Family Guy and things like that. And there was definitely, like, a sense of that in some of the skits for Animaniacs. At the same time, like, so what?
Yeah.
Like, some things don't hit, and some things absolutely hit. That's basically how Animaniacs originally was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And while you're geared more towards adults for this first season of the reboot, obviously you have to remind them that, like, this is how we were.
Mm-hmm.
You can still, like, evolve them into something else entirely.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, come on. Do we really want, like, the Animaniacs to be, like, the same thing from, like, the 90s? Because if it was the same thing from the 90s, it would probably get booed harder, especially because of, like, the comedy of those times.
Possibly, yeah. And, I mean, something that you kind of... Maybe I'm just very forgiving when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I'm definitely not what you'd call a purist about anything. You know, like, if someone's like, well, there was a giant plot hole here or whatever, I would just kind of like, yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, not the end of entertainment as we know it, you know. Sometimes those be the ways they are. You know, or just, I don't know. I understand that I'm not going to like everything, and I don't get affronted when I don't like something. I'm just like, yeah, it just wasn't my style.
Exactly. And honestly, we live in a world now, especially compared to, like, back in the 90s, where we have so much more access to so many different forms of, like, shows and entertainment and, like, styles and everything in between, and...
Yeah.
Does it really matter?
No,
If you don't like a particular show?
It's like, there's a lot of stuff out there. You could watch something else instead of watching something you don't really like and bitching about it.
Exactly. If you prefer a animated show that is like has more like adult themes lying throughout, especially when it comes to the crippling depression of adulthood and the entertainment industry in general, go watch BoJack Horseman.
Oh my gosh.
We still need to do an episode on that, honestly.
I started watching that one time, but I was, like, falling asleep while I was doing it, so I don't remember very much about it.
Cotton Candy Mountain. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, if that's your cup of tea, go do that. If you want more crude, crass, like sometimes gross out style like animation, go watch stuff like Family Guy or American Dad. Mm-hmm. Like, there's so much. You want to watch like some like crazy zany cartoon stuff in the Mad TV style? I don't personally recommend it, but you got Teen Titans Go. Just go. Just go. There's the door. Out that way. Out that way. But in the end, you just like what you like, and if you don't like something, just don't ruin it for other people.
Yep.
Like, do I think the new stuff for Animaniacs is absolutely God-sendic and should be placed in this pantheon of greatness? No.
Nah.
But it's kind of hard to live up to like how the original established itself, especially for a show that's generation defining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But at the same time, it does, in a good sense, capture what made the original so great. So I approve.
Yeah, like it got for the most part, it got the feeling of it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And especially from all of the voice actors, like the original voice cast that are back to voice all that, you can tell they're just having a blast. Like, they love being these characters, especially when it comes to like, especially Rob Paulson in general as Pinky and Yakko. We have not been introduced to Scratch and Sniff yet in the reboot, where I am right now, and I'm like, give me back Scratch and Sniff.
That's such a funny name for a person.
Dr. Otto von Scratch and Sniff.
Otto von Scratch and Sniff.
It is my duty in order to placate the Warner Brothers. Love it. Absolutely love it. Just the zaniness to the max.
Tell me what you see in these ink blots. I don't see anything. It doesn't look like anything. It looks like an ink blot. It's like, no. Does it look like a poppy or a butterfly or... Nah.
Nah, it's just an ink blot. and that first sequence just so good. Absolutely incredible. All right. But yeah, like, I highly recommend this show, and I also recommend the reboot too. Mm-hmm. You gotta watch the original first in order to like understand like how the reboot works. Yeah. So yeah. Anything else to add to that, Hannah?
No. I am good to go. I think I've said all I wanted to say.
All right. I think that'll be it for us, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the General Geekery Podcast. We're talking all about Animaniacs. I'll stop the singing. I'll stop, I promise. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys like what you were listening, make sure to follow us wherever we can be found on all podcasting platforms. We're on Spotify, we're on Spreaker, we're on Apple Podcasts, we are on Stitcher, and if you guys don't have access to any of those streaming platforms, we are also available on my personal YouTube channel at Anime Rev Productions. That is Anime Rev Productions on YouTube. And if you want to support the podcast in any way, please feel free to donate to our Patreon page at General Geekery. That is Patreon General... What was it, General Geekery or General...
General Geekery.
It was
Patreon.com/General Geekery.
Patreon.com/General Geekery. We got a bunch of stuff early there. You can get early access to the podcast a few days before they go live on all other podcasting platforms. Have the chance to interact with Hannah and I. Maybe get the chance to win some artwork from our artiste extraordinaire herself.
Hello. There's a lot of available. No, yeah. If you're a patron of like second tier and up, you get a monthly digital print of some sort, which I will create at some point.
Her artwork is great, guys. Definitely go do that.
Yeah? Oh yeah. You could have an original. Be like, this is back when she wasn't that great.
Wow.
And I have it. I'm an artist, so obviously I never think anything I do is well done. Except for that. That was awesome. That over there.
Oh, the steampunk devil
and
painting.
that was awesome too.
Oh yeah, the Dogs of War. Heck
the
yes.
Dogs of War was
Heck
good
yes.
too.
So, and on top of that, guys, you also can check us out on our social media accounts. We are on Instagram at General Geekery and on Twitter and Facebook at Gen Geek Podcast. Mm-hmm. Hannah, where can they check you out at?
Well, you can find me rolling dice with my party every Monday at 7:30 on twitch.tv/Loaded Dice Adventures, where myself and a bunch of other Wisconsin area RPG enthusiasts go through a homebrew campaign of the land of Avenaria. Right now we are on the seas. We just fought some ghost pirates, which was excellent. It's tons of fun. I play Petra, the Dragonborn Ranger Rogue, which is a blast. So yeah, tune in if you want to. Loaded Dice Adventures. You could also follow me on Instagram at Pythian Legume. And if you want to hear my voice some more, which, why wouldn't you? I'm also on the SPLANCHNIC podcast, which is a podcast I do with my mom, where we discuss all things art, entertainment, and tabletop gaming from the perspective of two different generations.
That's awesome. And you guys can check me out on twitch.tv/RyuzakiMK7, where I stream a bunch of different games, including many RPG-based games, but I always interact with my chat room, and it's always a lot of fun. I'm currently going through the story of a mobile game that I'm going through, Fate Grand Order. I'm in a good portion of the main chunk of the story right now. It's a lot of fun right now, so definitely go check that out. That is at twitch.tv/RyuzakiMK7. And you guys can also check me out on Instagram and Twitter at RyuzakiMK7 as well. And I think that pretty much wraps all of that up.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the General Geekery Podcast, episode 57.
57.
57.
57.
Talking all about Animaniacs. For Hannah Kubiak, I'm Donald Kuzinski. And until next time, guys, always remember to...
keep baloney in your slacks!
Indeed. And, wait, I just remembered. We haven't learned the lesson of the day yet. Hold on. For this, ladies and gentlemen, I had to go all the way to the original Animaniacs studio to get this. We come to the Wheel of Morality.
What? Oh my gosh.
I literally just remember this right now. Wheel of Morality. Turn, turn, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn.
Okay. Yes?
Yes, number 3. And the moral of the day is... always remember to keep your geek on.
That's it?
Yes.
Oh, always.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink. How the hell did you do that?
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.